I'm looking for the perfect song. I'll just play the first few notes and then you'll know what it is. Without getting demonetized. Yeah, I went back to Ohio. Right now, I am in Columbus, Ohio. That's what it looked like when I drove into town yesterday. Columbus, Ohio. I used to go to school in Athens, Ohio, which is about an hour south of here, Ohio University. So I don't know Columbus very well. I've just remember coming up here when I was in college. Hi, Kenneth. Good morning. Good morning. The weather is horrible here in Ohio. Oh my gosh, it's like gray and raining and cold. So flippin' cold. I can't stand it. I don't like to be cold. But I went back to Ohio and my city was cold. Yeah, oh well. That's what you get when you come up north at the beginning of May, end of April. You're not going to get very good weather. In fact, I already it's so here, get a little more light on the subject. Yeah, in Indiana is not very far away. I think I saw Indiana on my way here. I never drove to Pittsburgh from Florida this way before. It was my first time going through Kentucky, and there were some mountains involved. It was really very beautiful. Here, I'll see if I can put some more pictures on here for you from my adventures. Again, this is driving into Columbus, and I think that's still Columbus. Cincinnati. I'd never been to Cincinnati before, but that looks like a very fun town. Check this out. It was very beautiful. There was a big sign that said Cincinnati, but I guess I only saw it on the video. I don't know. Anyway, 2.5 hours away. Yeah, that's pretty far. I'm 3 hours away from where I'm going in Pittsburgh, so I don't know what that means, New York. That sounds like a sexual thing, and I'm not going to talk about that. So I'll be back in Florida in June, but May is my up north month this month. Jim says, no job. Whoever, there's a few doctors in Michigan that were fired for giving people the job unbeknownst to them. Yeah, I think it's time. Well, Kenneth, it's very hard for me to just stop by people's homes. When I'm driving for like a whole day long, if I stop, I can't stop. What am I gonna do? Hang out and then keep driving? I'm gonna lose my mind. Hey, OG, good to see you. I have late checkout. Do not bother me. I'm in a hotel, by the way. So, that's okay, Kenneth. But it's funny that you would say that because literally there are people who are like, I'm really close, you should stop by. And then I look on the map and they're like 5 hours away. Hello, Selena. So I got a very good rest last night. I was able to get to sleep very early. I think I pulled into Columbus at like 6 and I was in bed and asleep by 7:30. Because driving it is really hard. It really takes a lot out of me. So I'm just taking my hotel day and went to sleep early and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm excited. I'm excited about the month of May. It's gonna be like the greatest month ever and the greatest Mother's Day ever in my whole life as I become a grandmother this month. And also remembering my own mother who raised me, and her birthday is May 8th. So what's a hotel day? It's just that I'm traveling up north and I decided to take one day, one night in a hotel instead of driving like a crazy person because I am old. and and driving for because when you're driving 16 hours and there's nothing much to do, and you don't feel much like driving, you just wish the trip was through. So, yeah, sometimes it's just easy for me to stay in a hotel, um, just get in, sleep like crazy. I love the Hampton Inns. I'm in a Hampton Inn. They're not very expensive. They're always nice, and they have free breakfast. So, yeah. So that's what a hotel night is. Random. Every now and then, I have the Hilton Honors program. I'm on the Hilton Honors thing, so sometimes they get a free room, which is always nice. I like Hilton Honors. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about the schmid. That's what I call COVID-19. I think we weren't allowed to talk about it. In fact, I was kicked off of YouTube many times for just saying the word ivermectin. I'm even afraid to say it now. They literally made me take a kind of a test to um to make a vow that I would never talk about that particular drug as something that's beneficial. Like, whoa, what is that? Hey, Dr. Mark. Oh, what's that song? The merry, merry month of May. I know that's a song. I can't like get it into my head though. Yeah, clot shot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm so glad to see all of you people who did not comply because from what I'm hearing, something like 85% of Americans took the jab. 85%. And now we are finding out all sorts of nasty news about that, right? Here, I'm going to read you the latest. This just came out just a couple days ago, and I really want to talk about it because it's so disturbing. All right, well, I'll just read you this article because there's a lot of headlines I'd like to read you, but I'm just going to actually read you. Hey, trucker, you didn't take it either. I knew that. Yeah. Under pressure, do 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 do. Pressure, do 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 do. I don't know who's a Finchell girlfriend, but I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, so well, see, that's the thing, Wolfman, that you didn't understand about President Trump. He put the vaccine out there. He didn't tell us we had to take it. No. He never said you have to take this. And those of us who are smart and did our research were like, oh, hell's no. And people who didn't understand what he was doing maybe fell for it. I don't know. But President Trump did it the right way. And then the election was stolen, and we had Biden, who then made it, well, he didn't make it mandatory for everybody, but certain companies, our military people had to get it if they wanted to keep their jobs. So it was pretty bad. Exactly. Selena knows. Right. Kenneth knows. He gave us options. And if you fell for that one, that's on you. But then, yes. Thank you, Joseph, for telling us what you are. You know, when people say things about you, it's really about you. So, anyway, I'm going to read you this article. This is from Fox News. And I'm not saying Fox News is any better than the rest of them. I think they all pretty much suck, but at least you're going to get some kind of not as much of a spin maybe. My employer didn't give us the options. There you go, Black Cat. Did you quit or did you have to take it? Okay, here's the headline. Ex-Fauci top advisor indicted over alleged COVID cover-up, hidden emails. Hey, CK, I made it all the way to Ohio and I'll be in Pittsburgh later this afternoon. The Justice Department is accusing a longtime senior advisor to Dr. Anthony Fauci of using his private email to hide communication about the COVID-19 virus from public view while helping to shape the narrative about its origins. David M. Morins, age 78, he served for years as a top advisor with the National Institutes of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, also known as NIAID. He was indicted and is accused of using his personal email account to evade federal transparency laws and shield key discussions from Freedom of Information Act requests, according to a DOJ indictment unsealed on Tuesday. Prosecutors allege that Warrens conspired with others during the plandemic, that's my word, to hide communications related to a controversial coronavirus research grant that involved collaboration with the Wuhan Institute of Virology in China. The grant was later terminated amid scrutiny over whether COVID-19 may have originated from a lab leak. Was it a leak? Or was it on purpose? Gotta wonder. The indictment alleges that Morans and his associates deliberately moved conversations off of official government systems and onto private email accounts to keep them from public disclosure. The communications allegedly included internal discussions about COVID research, efforts to influence funding decisions, and exchanges related to messaging on the virus's origins. Yeah, was it really? Was it really just a leak from the wild, a lab leak, or was it on purpose? I think all this news tells us that not only was it on purpose, it was a conspiracy. Oh, Mr. Cranky, I am so sorry. You have actually lost family members. I have friends who will never be the same. I didn't lose any family members, but I do know some people who died. Federal prosecutors also claim that Warrens received gifts from a collaborator, including wine and offers of high-end meals, and later took steps to justify those perks by contributing to a scientific publication supporting the theory that COVID-19 emerged naturally rather than from the Wuhan lab. So you could buy this man off with food and wine. Sounds a lot like the people who were able to be bought off and get the job with a donut. Free donut for you and free wine and food for this guy. How stupid do you have to be? Morans did not immediately respond to Fox News Digital's request for comment. A spokesperson for the NIH, National Institutes of Health, also did not immediately respond to requests for comments. Warrens previously faced scrutiny from House lawmakers over emails related to COVID-era communications. During congressional testimony, he said he regretted the tone of certain messages and described some remarks as black humor. So, in other words, they were making fun of us. Yeah, while they were killing us, they were literally making fun of us and eating in good restaurants and all at our expense. All at our expense. Very disgusting. My husband knew enough about mRNA to educate me, and he said he wasn't taking it. I lost my aunt who was already 92 years, and that's a shame, Selena. She made it 92 years, and then for all of this, for all of this. Here, look, I'm going to show you the pigs that are now commenting. Yeah, I'm wearing a sweatshirt, and they still have to talk about my boobs. Like sick, there's clearly nothing I can do. Nothing I can do to hide from the pigs. I don't know what to think about that. Here's a person named Tim who needs to be on OnlyFans. We don't do that here, Tim. You're on the wrong page. So please kindly move off. Yeah, and Tim also needs to be kicked off because Tim is only thinking about sex, and we don't need that. In fact, Tim is also going to be reported for pornography, sexually explicit material. So there we go. Anyway, I really hate that, you guys. Why? What about me is making people come and say these kind of things to me? Anyway, high quality, well educated, respectful guests make live streaming much better. You are so right, David. And that's why I have to get rid of pigs like that. So it's just disgusting. I know, Dabby. I know. Anyway, the charges against David Morans are conspiracy, destruction, and conspiracy. And they call me a conspiracy theorist, like I'm a bad person. But this is actually conspiracy. Hey, Smoo, why don't you go find somebody who wants you to talk that way to them, okay? Because I don't. Because I'm an educated woman. So, Trucker Tom. Trucker Tom, you're okay. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna stop looking at the comments and let my mods do the work. I don't know. Do I have any mods on right now? Oh, thank you, Louie. I do my own hair. God does my hair actually. And here's the great thing though about being up north. I don't have any frizzy hair up here. My hair gets just straight like a then when I'm in Florida, you see I can have some curls. No curls allowed up here. Well, hi, Rosa. I am a journalist. I'm an author. I've been doing this show for more than 10 years, almost 11 years, maybe 11 years even. Why don't you just send that money and we'll see what happens, Smoo, okay? People talk the talk, but do they walk the walk? I don't know. If you want to support the Beach Report, I'll always take donations. Wherefore art thou, Romeo? I hear a beat. Oh, oh, so sweet. Oh, look, here's another one who needs to be reported for pornography. Is that what people are thinking about? I mean, why would anyone come on this show and start like complete just going there? The reason there are so many trolls is because sick people have little to do. That's true, David. And I think also it's a jealousy thing where a man sees a woman who's not trying to get his attention and all of a sudden has to talk about sex. So I don't understand. Um, I'm not here trying to be sexy for you. So anyway, Morans will face decades in prison if convicted. The case is likely to intensify scrutiny of how federal health officials handled key questions during the pandemic, particularly debates over the virus's origins. I don't really think that we need debates over the virus's origins. I think we know exactly how that happened and why it happened. Um, I think that we were all subjected to a very disgusting experiment by people who are only interested in power and I guess destroying other people's lives because COVID destroyed a lot of lives and now in the aftermath it's 2026, so we're kind of 6 years out of it, and we can look back and we can see how COVID allowed the foreigners to steal from us. Hi, Jonathan. Um, COVID allowed people to take control of our medical decisions. It accomplished showing that some people could be told what to do. It was a great experiment to see how people would react, who would cover their faces, who would stand in a grocery store with lines on the floor and follow them, who would be that kind of a sheeple. Yeah, yeah, Leering centers, exactly. COVID was an experiment to see how many people would fall for it and could be controlled. C cases, I denied the job at first, then caved to meet a cruise requirement. Never got the second one. Black Hat says pandemic profits, billionaires' wealth grew 1.7 trillion during 3 years of the public health emergency. So it was also a money grab. Um, Dayton, Ohio, I drove through there. Hey, Kyle, why don't you go find a woman who will pay, who you can pay, okay? What are you doing here? Why would you say that to me? Please let me know. Thank you, Catherine. Not me. I used Defy that to just to watch people have meltdowns, Kenneth. Yeah, why are creeps here? What are you getting out of it? Actually, I think that we should send Kyle to the to report him for the pornography. You know, it's as if I were standing here naked or something, right? It's really sick. Yeah, first day, Kyle, and I get involved with you. Thank you. Thank you for being a pig. I'm going to report you again for pornography because we don't need to hear that. We don't need your disgusting. Anyway, um, it was annoying having to hear people tell me about how it's a free country while you're endangering people's lives. Yeah, there's that. Thank you, Sax. Thank you. Yes, keep your thoughts to yourself and everything will be fine. I know, Kenneth. And I got Catherine working her butt off. Thank you, Catherine. I love you so much. Anyhow, it's all coming out in the wash, right? We are all now finding out that, well, the next time that they tell us that there's a national health emergency, are you going to listen? The next time they tell you that you can't breathe the air freely or you're going to be shunned from society, are you going to listen? I still see people wearing masks. I still see that. Yesterday, where was I? I think I was in well, when I was in Huntsville. I saw some woman, she had the mask down around here and she was like delivering something or whatever going into a store. I saw her as soon as she went to pull that door open, she pulled her mask up. She's very scared after all of this. People lack so much respect for you, Jill. They lack intellectual integrity. Keep pushing on. Yes, they won't stop me. Don't worry, Paul. Don't worry. Here's another one. Why would I do a private cam chat? Like, do you think that that's the kind of person I am? Do I strike you as that kind of person? I didn't listen during C19, never got sick. I didn't social distance, wear a mask, or take the jab. That's right. That's right. Thank you, Kenneth. Pure bloods are here. All my pure bloods are here. Yay. Alone in the car with a mask. I know. Yeah. Oh, here's one who says that I could use a paper bag because I'm so hideously ugly, right? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. You seem like a really nice person. Yeah. Look, now Kyle has entered the part of the chat where he's angry that I don't want to play his sex games. See, now he's scared. Yeah. Why don't you go find someone who likes that kind of stuff? I don't understand. Anyway. Oh, here's one. I'm Epstein in a wig. Yeah, that's great. Really nice. Really nice. Anyway. uh, Such really sick people. You're the same people who would try to murder the president, aren't you? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's really kind of makes my faith in humanity go. Yes, remember that, Bob? They told us to wash our groceries when we got them home. Seriously, I agree, Chooch. Let's stay on topic. And Selena already wore a P95 mask. But here's the thing, they wanted us to wear masks that were like made of cotton, that were so ridiculous. All right, Pew, by the way, I'm not here looking for a man. I'm a widow and you can respect me. You can go find another woman to disrespect, but I'm not here asking for disrespect. I'm not looking for men. I don't want attention from men or anything. So, can we just stay on topic and talk about COVID instead of how, important your parts are? It's just sad. Hey Don, I'll be back in Florida in June. I have to come back to June. Yes, it's not that difficult to be respectful. Exactly, Louie. But you know what? I have the best followers on YouTube, and you guys are so wonderful. And I thank my moderators especially for trying to keep the chat safe, even though there are so many nasty people out there all showing us how nasty they are. Yeah. Thank you, Sax. I agree that I really appreciate that. The mask like a screen door on a submarine. Especially how ridiculous it was with the 5 feet of personal distancing. And then, yes, we know who they are. Exactly, Catherine. And Catherine, thank you. I know it's not fun to do this job, and you're doing a great job at it. Um, there are a lot of sickos out there. I'd like to see mental institutions come back. And I think one of the things that is really, if you don't like the way I look, then go away. I'd like to see how you look. Yeah, I'm either gorgeous or hideously ugly. Ask me if I care. Hey, Sax, please. Really. You're like nice 1 minute and disgusting the next. What's up with that? Yes, we women, we're all the same. We're all the same. Anywho, I wanted to read you the headlines because it is very interesting about how different they are from different sources, and how strange it was that 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I was banned Facebook. I was banned on YouTube a couple times just for simply talking about where did the Wuhan virus come from. Thank you, Selena. I think you lovely too. Conspired to hide COVID records. Like, what is that? What should we do with a person who literally conspired? I mean, how is it that people like me, called conspiracy theorists, we're like the worst people on earth, and then my girlfriend who took the shot said she had a burning sore throat when she said she had COVID. I'm like, that's just a sore throat, isn't it? Yes. And the other thing, Black Cat, is all the people who they said they had COVID, but nobody got pneumonia that year. Does that make any sense? I got canceled multiple times, cooked. Oh, yes, I certainly did. Yes, it- I was making money on Facebook when my husband was very sick, and it was a godsend. I was doing my shows on Facebook every day, like always every day. And Facebook, they cut off my monetization for the past 2 years. They just now let me back on Facebook so people can see me. Like, people literally couldn't see the beach report on Facebook, and I didn't even know it. I'm posting, and people are like, "I never see what you post. Where'd you go?" And I'm like, "I didn't go anywhere." Um, Stupidity of people here in the UK feeling safe in a cafe and think the mask off, sitting down, putting it on. I know that people would walk in a restaurant with it on, sit down and take it off. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, what are you thinking? I got COVID twice too. The second time was worse than the first time, but I figured the second time was my booster shot because uh, I wouldn't let them jab me. Although I have to admit, I just got a vaccine. I got the DTaP, the diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus shot. Um, because that's the new thing that all the young parents are doing. They call it cocooning for the baby. So everybody around the baby gets vaccinated, especially for whooping cough and tetanus and all those, because apparently that's like killer for little babies. But of all the vaccines, and I believe me, I researched it super hard. The DTaP vaccine is not something to really be afraid of, and actually might be a good thing. So I got it, and my arm doesn't hurt anymore. It's been about a week. The PCR tests were not a diagnostic tool. The only purpose was for experimentation. I agree, Joe. And they wanted to see how far you'd stick it up your nose, touch your brain with it, right? Remember when every business had to install plexiglass in order to deal with the public? Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. And what plexiglass companies were profiting from that, right? And I've never had the jab, and I will never have the jab. And the only reason that I got this DTaP was because, again, I know the tetanus shot is something, if you get a cut, you should get it. So it's the only thing that I did get, and I want to hug that baby. I don't want anyone telling me I can't hug my grandchild, so I did it. I'm not going to fight over that one. But yeah, microplastics, all of it. They're trying to kill us every day. Every day. Listen to these headlines about this Morin story because this is big, big deal. I mean, I feel like where's my vindication? Every day I feel vindicated about the COVID situation. Here, the Wall Street Journal, former health official charged with concealing emails about COVID-19 grants. Oh, that sounds pretty milk toast, right? CBS News, ex-advisor at Fauci's NIAID indicted for allegedly attempting to hide records. Let's see what CBS News has to say about it, because I've been noticing that CBS News hates America and will do anything to make President Trump look bad. I broke my wrist during COVID and had to sit in the hospital hallway while holding my wrist while it was casted, no mask. They didn't ask if I took the C19 shots. Are you kidding? Wow, wow, Black Cat. Well, they probably hoped you did have COVID and that you would give it to everybody so they could continue with it. Conspiracy isn't a conspiracy anymore. You're right. You're right. And I am a proud conspiracy theorist myself. I've been talking about all sorts of stuff for a long, long time, and I warned everybody on the Beach Report about COVID the day I found out about it, which was on New Year's Eve, 2020. That was when I found out. Found out about it from a Chinese source. And boy, was I shocked and upset. And I had no idea what was to come, but I told everybody. I know Cape Coral. The COVID shots only last 3 to 6 months. Yeah, bullshit. Okay, so here's the CBS News version of the David Morin story. A former senior advisor at the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases is facing charges over an alleged scheme to hide federal records during the COVID-19 pandemic, the Justice Department said Tuesday. Warren, 78, was indicted by a federal grand jury earlier this month and charged with 5 counts, including conspiracy, destruction of records in federal investigations, and concealment of records. That's only 3. What are the other 2? I would like to know. He made his initial appearance before a federal magistrate judge on Monday, and he'll be arraigned next week. He served as the NIAID's office a senior advisor to the Office of the Director from 2006 to 2022. Dr. Anthony Fauci led the Institute for nearly 40 years, serving under 7 presidents and retired in 2022 during then President Joe Biden's administration. I can't even say that with a straight face because we all know that that was fake. And that's another thing that's coming out is the stolen election of 2020. It is disgusting. And I want to talk about programming, actually, posit. That is a very good point that most people are programmed. I, however, have not been programmed because I have lived too many places and had too many truths on my plate before I was even a toddler. That's right. When you are born and adopted and you live in a family and you know that you're adopted and you know that your parents are not technically or biologically related to you and are not your parents, you walk around with kind of a different view of the world than other people. So I don't work through programming like other people do because I am always looking for what's the hidden truth in this and what's the hidden truth in that. And it's one of the reasons why I moved to Switzerland in 1990 because I was sick of living in America and living amongst Americans who believed one huge lie, which is that the food was safe to eat. The food is never safe to eat. The food in America, uh, I have trauma excuses. Oh my goodness. Wow. No, I lost a tooth because I grind my teeth, but whatever. Thank you, Min. Minja Bear, being adopted, I think it takes some time for us people to really kind of come into ourselves because we grow up wondering about our identities and those of us who are not told the truth about our adoptions, well, we always find out, the truth always comes out. But I think that when you're adopted and you find out later and you're older, I think that's really, really hard on people, but it also gives them a kind of a false sense of security growing up. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're like, what? Everything I thought is a lie. So, because I already knew that I was adopted, I knew that it was all a lie. I don't know, lie, untruth. I don't know what you want to call it when it's adoption. Yeah, pharmacy with the F. No, it's because you're telling a story how you grew up. It's not your teeth. Right. There's that too. I also have very big teeth and I smile a lot. So that's true too. But I think that when you are growing up adopted and understanding that the world isn't really what everybody thinks it is, um, you grew up normal and well, and so did I, but I always knew that I was adopted. I always knew that there were people out there who were my parents, and who were they? It just seemed kind of crazy, And then, well, then they showed themselves. And then my parents got divorced, and that also ruined it. Hi, Wes. Hello, good to see you. Wait, you're singing a song. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Jill to the tune of Beautiful Cole. I don't know that song, Mr. Holland's Opus movie. Sorry, I don't know that song. My mom wasn't ashamed to adopt me. She wanted to. My dad had moms and couldn't have kids. Yeah, my mom couldn't have kids. Well, my mom had several miscarriages, and my parents were definitely not ashamed to adopt me, and they adopted my brother and sister too. And that's why they told everyone we were adopted right away. I was adopted in the United States. I was born an American and adopted as an American. My ex left me for this. Oh. Catherine's like, no, you're not reading that. I love you, Catherine. Oh my gosh. And no, I don't know the politician from Vietnam. Selena, yes, you do want to know if you have inherited sickness. That's true. But I think on the other hand, they're always talking about nature versus nurture. And I think that I don't think there's anybody's fault when it comes to inherited anything. You can't blame people for things that you might have inherited. Um, I could, so I wrote a book about it, Minja. And my biological father looked for me and found me and had been stalking me my whole life. And that's what my book is about. I I think it has it here somewhere. Hold on. This is a good time to talk about adoption and talk about my book. I know it's backwards, but do you think about me on my birthday is what it says. Whoops. The green screen's messing it up. This is me as a baby, and this is me on the day my parents brought me home from the adoption agency. All right, well, hey, a cooking live stream. I don't like to cook, but we could do that. Anyway, why don't I read to you one of the intros from my book, since we're talking about adoption. Thank you, LaDonna. You can get this book on jillbooks.com, which is my website, and you can't buy it anywhere else, just on my website, because I'm not sending it to just anybody. Well, it's only for my fans. And everybody who buys this book, especially this month, you get a free peacock feather. Wes says, my dad adopted me and my sister when we were young kids. My mom got divorced from my biological dad. He was an alcoholic for years, but has been sober for 15 years now. I like that. So you have relationships with all of them, right, Wes? Because that's a good thing. Okay, here's my introduction to my book. November 30th, 1965 is the anniversary of more than just my birth. It's also the anniversary of the day I lost my mother. From the moment I exited her womb, we went our separate ways. Mothers lose babies and babies lose mothers sometimes, but when it happens to you, it's an alienating experience. Lost mothers and lost babies may go on to find other families, but they never forget each other, living or dead. I immediately tried to get over the loss of my mother on the day I was born. Put into a foster home for the first 2 weeks of my life, I was cared for and fed, not with, but without love. So I put on a happy face and did what I could to charm all the adults into loving me enough to keeping me alive. For those 2 weeks, I had nothing. No mother, no father, and even the onesies I was wearing had to be returned. If my birth certificate is accurate, despite much of it being falsified for adoption purposes, then the last time I felt the warmth of my mother's body was at 4:05 a.m. on that fateful Tuesday morning. That date and that time have always held immense significance for me. My adoptive mom used to tease me about the way I acted before my birthday, saying, it's like you think it's a national holiday or something. But I could never explain to her that it was the one day in the year that my biological mother couldn't forget about me, because on that day, more than any other, I was thinking about her too. The fact that she existed somewhere out there in the world fascinated me. I wondered if she looked like me, if she thought about me much, and if she had any regrets about giving me up for adoption. It was difficult for me to understand the standard explanation I was given. She loved you so much that she gave you up. She wanted you to have a better life. It never made sense. The mommy I had now loved me too, and she wouldn't give me up for anything in the world. So forgive me for being confused. I was told that adoption wasn't personal, that the people who gave me up for adoption did so without knowledge of who I was or what I would mean to them in the future. I started to think of the womb as merely a portal, a construction zone of sorts in which recycled souls receive their earth suits before re-entering the world. I believe that God blessed my earth suit with the soul of a wandering Jew, a scribe destined to live an interesting life during interesting times. I eventually learned that my biological father was Jewish, but my biological mother was Christian. I was told that despite this, she deliberately chose to give me to agents for the Jewish God, Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, King of the universe. I was chosen. to embrace God as my salvation, and Jesus was my friend. In 1965, Jewish girls who married Jewish doctors were considered fortunate, and illegitimate babies with Jewish blood hit the jackpot when given to such a couple. The Jewish Family and Children's Agency arranged my adoption, intending to guarantee me a lifetime of love and security. Hi, Nidrov. In the months prior to my birth, the adoption agents scrutinized my biological parents and reviewed prospective adoptive parents until they found the best match for me. And it was personal. Days after my birth, and clearly without my consent, they converted me to Orthodox Judaism in a private immersion ceremony. It's like a baptism. And it was personal. The only ones without a personal choice in my future as myself were my adoptive parents. They often told me, "We chose you." But the truth is, they would have taken any baby the agency handed to them on that day without question. From the moment I was conceived, God and Jesus had unique ways of keeping tabs on me. God chose for me a loving Jewish mama whose devout belief in him was surpassed only by her desire to become a real mother to live children, unlike the ones who died in her womb. She didn't care whose children they were, because as soon as they were placed into her arms, they immediately became her own. And she would thank God for the three of us every single day of her life. Keeping their promise to the adoption agency, we three kids were raised to be religious Jews, but with a twist. They moved us to suburbia before it was cool. Up until the 1980s or so, Jews in America typically stayed within their own close-knit communities. The suburban synagogue we attended was founded by a handful of Jewish transplants in the late 1960s. Our parents moved us there in the early 1970s, and we fit right in. Our small congregation, then known as the North Hills Jewish Community Center, held services in local churches and catering halls. Sunday school took place in a Catholic high school where statues of Jesus and Mary bore silent witness to my Jewish education. Often placed in the corners of the classrooms, these figures evoked many questions in my mind, but the Jewish Sunday school teachers never acknowledged them. Fascinated, I liked looking at them, and the mother and child statues gave me comfort. However, asking about Jesus seemed wrong, just as talking about my biological mother seemed treacherous. An adopted child's point of view. I always felt special, but it was a lonely kind of special. There are pros and cons to telling a child that they're adopted. On the one hand, you don't want it to be a sudden shock when they're older, and then it's perceived to be a lie. But it's hard to grow up knowing that there are people out there who are your parents, but you can never know them. I often wondered what kind of people gave me up for adoption. Who were they? Why did they do it? I recall one conversation in particular with the little girl from down the street when I was about 8 years old. She blew my mind. I remember when I was in my mother's stomach, she told me. I can't remember that, I replied. I was adopted. What does adopted mean? It means that I never grew in my mother's stomach. I came from somewhere else, I answered with confidence. Like, from where else would you come from? She questioned, narrowing her eyes at me. From another woman, I told her with far less confidence. Who? I don't know, I admitted, my confidence out the window. Are you telling me that you don't know who your mother is? The shocked look on her face scared the hell out of me. I know who my mother is, I told her, trying to at least look confident. Sounds to me like you don't, she said before walking away from me like I was some kind of motherless freak. The following story is a fictionalized account of my life experiences as an adopted child. All names have been changed to protect the innocent and everyone else. So, anyway, that's my book, and you can get your own copy at jillbooks.com. And I will even include a free peacock feather from the peacocks that I raised. So, hi, Sylvia. I'm not in Indiana or Alabama. I'm in Ohio today. These signs are for Ohio. All right, you guys. Well, I also have to get back on the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. Ba-ba-da-da-da, making music with my friends. I can't wait to get on the road again. You live in Indiana. Oh, okay. Well, I think I passed by there on my way here. Anyway, the weather is crappy. The sky is gray. It's cold outside, and I am missing Florida. But I have to go to Pennsylvania now, so I will be there for a little bit. We'll see what's happening, and I am expecting a new grandchild. So I know I love Florida so much that when I leave it, I'm like, "Oh, I miss Florida. I miss it so much." Yeah, it's really hard. Oh, I will, Catherine, and I will keep in touch with all of you and do my shows every day. I know what was it, yesterday or the day before? I didn't do any shows because I just couldn't take it anymore. Sometimes driving for long, long hours, it really, really wipes me out. Black Cat says, I'm never going back to Michigan. I know how you feel, Black Cat. What part of Florida do you live in? So right now, Nidroff, I am in Columbus, Ohio. Here, wait, I'll show you on my blue screen. I took pictures of the city I was driving in. This is Columbus, Ohio. That's how it looks. Here's another one. Yeah. It was a beautiful day for driving yesterday. I will say that. It was absolutely beautiful. Good driving. Oh, Cape Coral, that's right. Yeah, I know that area. I live down near there. So, yes, it's chilly. It is very chilly, and I'm like so super surprised by that. Oh, well, thank you, Allie. I hope that those of you who are new to the Beach Report will like and subscribe. Yes, the Ohio State is right down the street. Yes, I was just in Fort Myers, and I will be back in Fort Myers in June at the latest. But this is a very special month for me. Uh, 58 on Long Island. Yeah, that's cold. I don't know what the temperature is here, but I think it's about the same, probably 58. It's overcast, it's gray. I did my taxes, Black Cat. I did them. I'm done. I gotta check on that. I do get money back, so I'm kind of happy about that. Yay. Anyway, what else? What else? So tonight, opening the swimming pool next week. See, swimming pools in Florida are always open. Yes, money back. Woo woo. Yeah, for the first time in a long time doing my taxes, I'm actually getting some money back. I don't think that's happened in years. But that's because they took my money. Anyway, again, just a quick promotion for me as a writer. Do you think about me on my birthday? It's my second book. My first book is about the way 9/11 changed our society, and I am working on sequels for both of those books right now. And I've got some other book projects that are going to blow your mind. So I can't talk about them yet, just let you know. Yes, get rid of property tax. I don't own any property, but I agree. I think that property taxes, they'll talk about taxation without representation. That right there is some very shady business. Yeah, you buy a house, you pay it off, and then it goes up in value. And then they want you to pay more money because your house went up in value. You didn't sell it, you didn't make any money off of it, but you have to pay more money on somewhere where you live. Who thought that was a good idea? Yeah, auto taxes too. Yes, sickening and destructive. And the property taxes are even more destructive when you think about the elderly people who sometimes lose their homes because of it. And then it seems like a crime. Anyway, Nidroff has a heater for the pool. 90 degrees. Well, that's super warm. I don't think you need it to be that warm. I think you're going to attract something in there at 90 degrees. I don't know. That sounds like way too warm. In Florida, we keep our pools around, I'd say 75, 80 degrees tops. All right, you guys. Well, I gotta get ready to get back on the road, go to Pittsburgh. I understand tonight is karaoke night at the what is it? It's one of those clubs. The Elks Club. Hey, Umberto. So yeah, I have to get all my warm weather clothes out again. Yeah, I don't like that, but it's okay because I brought them. But yeah, so they're having karaoke at the Elks Club. So you guys want to see that happen? We might go live for that. We'll see what happens. Either way, it's going to be a very, very interesting and busy month for me. And I do want to say one thing though, those of you who are looking forward to seeing me with pictures of my new grandchild, don't expect that. Yeah, no, my kids are not into the beach report, and they don't like it when I talk about them. And they don't want me to share their business, so probably won't be able to show anything like that, but that's okay. It is what it is. And I do have such disgusting trolls that I want to keep my grandchild safe as well, because there are really bad people out there in the world. Unfortunately, we see a lot of them come on here and say very nasty things to me and show us how disgusting they are. So, unfortunately, I think reading my book scared a lot of them away, though, because they can't read. Anyway, we will see you guys on the next beach report, and I will be in. They do interrupt. They're so awful. I don't know how people live with them. Yeah, we're not getting engaged, Umberto. No, no, you guys can love me from afar, but Jill doesn't get in with anybody, so don't thinking that's gonna happen. And I don't want that. I don't like that. So let's just all be friends. All right, you guys. I will see you on tomorrow's beach report, or maybe today if we do the karaoke show. It could be kind of fun, don't you think? What do you think? I'll see you guys on the next beach report. Yes, this is Marilyn. This is Marilyn. I have to be worried though, because there's like really disgusting pigs on here who even see that my chest is in this area and have to say things about my boobs. I don't understand why. It doesn't matter. I could be wearing a bathing suit. I can wear a sweatshirt. They're still going to talk about boobs. I guess they've never seen them before. I don't really know. Anyway, you guys are sick. All right. Thank you for being not rude to me. I appreciate that. And those of you who are, well, you have to live with yourselves. All right, you guys. Ciao for now. We'll see you on the next beach report. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks, Sax. I hope you have liked and subscribed.